Hey y'all, it's Kim. So you know I gotta watch my lefties losing it. This one might just be the Sky News Australia. But either way, oh my gosh, these people are so crazy. Let's see here. It says darkly hilarious. Doge exposes $330 million in loans awarded to children. And before we go there, oh my goodness, I want to show you something I just popped up on X. I was like, what is going on? It says unhinged leftist is urging people to start rioting and burn to the ground. I'll try not to cuss, but she's gonna cuss through this thing. So hold on, let's play this. Where's it at?
We're underreacting. We need to be rioting, not protesting. We need to be like burning shit to the ground. Somebody needs to be a hero. Somebody needs to be a fucking hero. We'd all think you were rad. Be a hero.
See, and part of the problem I think is coming from these unhinged leftist Congress people. Like, oh, good grief. Ah, Jasmine Crockett. She's like the go to at this point, but I know it's just she won't shut up. She keeps going on all these shows. She's not even like taking care of her people. This guy says should ghetto trash Jasmine Crockett be kicked out of Congress for inciting violence and then following up with assault. She doesn't seem to fit. Oh, excuse me. She doesn't seem fit to serve on Congress. It says breaking Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine for us, Jasmine Crockett, just assaulted my Loomer Unleashed DC correspondent at the Charles Downs. I have instructed him to press charges against the Congresswoman. The assault was captured on video, video coming soon. CC at Speaker Johnson. I need to follow this lady. But anyway, here's this idiot talking about Ted Cruz. I mean, she just won't shut her mouth.
I think that you punch. I think you punch. I think you're okay with
Seriously.
you okay with punching. I think and I love Colin. And I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But like it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like this dude has to be knocked over the head like hard, right?
Really?
Like there is no niceties
Really?
with him. Like at all. Like you go clean off on him, right? I think that you punch.
Okay, so I mean this lady's not fit for office. Yes, she should be kicked out of Congress. Let's see here. It says Breaking Representative Randy Weber has introduced a resolution to censure Representative Jasmine Crockett after she called Governor Greg Abbott, who is in a wheelchair, Governor Hot Wheels. Are you freaking seriously? Oh my God. This lady is a freaking nuts.
And
What is going on?
because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Um,
She's garbage.
y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes. And because we in these
Seriously,
hot
what is
ass
she
Texas
doing?
streets, honey.
Trash, 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 trash. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Jasmine Crockett makes fun of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's handicap. She insultingly called him Hot Wheels and a hot mess. As Speaker Johnson censure Crockett, she is an insult to Congress and all America. Her conduct does not represent values or decent decorum. Seriously? I mean, what is going on? Let's see if we can read this. It says Representative Randy Weber, I guess that's how you say it, has officially filed a censure resolution against Jasmine Crockett. Yes, I hope she is expelled. I've been calling for this every time I see a video of this lady, like on Instagram. She is horrible. It says, whatever this is, in the House of Representatives, U.S., March 25th, 2025. Whereas on March 22nd, 2025, the representative from Texas, Miss Jasmine Crockett, spoke at a human rights, really? So she would normally be fighting for somebody that has a disability, right? I mean, does it make sense? The human rights campaign event in a manner unbecoming of a member of Congress, calling the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, Governor Hot Wheels and a hot ass mess. Whereas the remarks from the representative from Texas are discriminatory in nature and are the latest in a continued series of inappropriate comments expressed by the representative from Texas, such as on May 16, 2024, during a House Committee on Oversight and Investigation hearing, Representative Crockett espoused inflammatory comments about the appearance of another member of Congress. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Jasmine Crockett be censured. Representative Jasmine Crockett forthwith present herself to the well of the House Representatives of the pronouncement of censure, and Representative Jasmine Crockett be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. Oh my gosh. This lady can't get out of there fast enough because she's on all these damn talk shows. She ain't out there representing her people. And then let's see. This, oh my gosh. This lady, oh, I can't. This is the persistence with Scott Pressler. I don't use this word often, but Jasmine Crockett truly is wicked. To call Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels is cruel, contemptible, and speaks to her lack of character. A tree fell on Abbott when he was 26 years old, paralyzing him from the waist down. His loving wife stayed by his side, and they have a lovely adopted daughter. If Jasmine Crockett represents the Democrat Party, I want nothing to do with the Democrats. Despicable. That's exactly. I mean, at this point, they're like a cancer in the U.S. They just won't shut up. Some of these people are just going out here and saying all kinds of horrible things, not to mention all the other stuff she's said. Oh my gosh. Let's see. This person says Jasmine Crockett continues to embarrass herself, the state of Texas, which I'm from the state of Texas, born and raised, and the U.S. Congress by referring to Governor Greg Abbott as Governor Hot Wheels. Governor Abbott was paralyzed at the age of 26 when an oak tree fell and crushed his spine while jogging. This woman is trash. I mean, she should be sent out. It says the juxtaposition of Jasmine Crockett making fun of a man, exactly, making fun of a man in a wheelchair while standing in front of a backdrop professing human rights is a perfect snapshot of leftism in 2025. See, that, I mean, exactly what I just said. She's at a human rights rally where they would be fighting for somebody that has disabilities or anything like that. And she's you cannot make this up. Oh my God, these people are just, her especially. I don't know what is going on with this, but I can't imagine. Oh my gosh. And then Wesley Hunt, he's also from Texas. Jasmine Crockett called for violence against Ted Cruz, wants someone to take out Elon Musk, and is inciting domestic terrorism, which is what I said yesterday. She says she's not telling people to literally fight, but the things she has said is going to incite somebody to do it, like radicalize them. Are they freaking kidding me? Democrat approval is at a 30-year low at 29%. Somebody else said 27%. But either way, they're still really low. So why not send her on tour? At this rate, they'll hit zero in no time. Run, Jazz, run. You got this. Okay, so let's listen to this video.
Jasmine Crockett has the moves to fix America.
Y'all about to find out.
She is definitely on the side of the American people.
I'm rooting for Canada. I'm rooting for Mexico a lot. Black folk not have to pay taxes. I don't think that's not necessarily a bad idea. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck.
We all know Jasmine Crockett is a fighter.
If I come and talk shit about her, y'all gonna have a problem. We are gonna be on your ass.
Her consistency is unmatched.
Now looks like a little bit over a year ago. And boo, let me just be real. And we ain't gonna sit for this.
Jasmine is always bringing the facts.
Let me make sure y'all got the facts. The most extreme crimes that take place are committed by white supremacists. It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. Stop being Putin's hoe. We're gonna make sure you understand what democracy looks like.
Jasmine Crockett, the leader we probably don't need.
Get it, Jazz?
Oh my
Jasmine.
gosh, I'm sorry. I just the compilation. Wow. Trash. Just trash. Yeah, there's resolution. This is a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I can't understand it. Let me do something really quick here. I want to follow this lady because I think she does a lot of investigative stuff on here. But anyway, let's see what she has to say. It says my at Loomer Unleashed DC correspondent, the Charles Downs, just left the Capitol Police headquarters in DC, where he just filed a police report against Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Representative Jasmine, for assault and battery and attempted theft. Really? Include name and address for each witness if known. Enter each employee on a separate line. Jasmine Crockett. Wow. Huh. I wonder what. Oh, let's see. It says Democrat Congresswoman Representative Jasmine Crockett just physically attacked and assaulted a Loomer Unleashed DC correspondent. Let's watch this video. Ah! Why is this lady in here? Hold on.
Horse manure.
Hello, Congresswoman.
Horse manure. Well, that sounds like fun.
Wait, Congresswoman Crockett. Congresswoman Crockett, you were recently on a Tesla takedown call calling for violence on the 29th. Would you like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman, will you condone violence at the Tesla?
Really? Huh. Man, she needs to be off. Yeah. And of course, there's the Tesla takedown. Let's listen. Let's listen to her mouth. This is what
I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes, I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for.
Yeah, oh my goodness, y'all. It says, this is Laura Loomer. I think I'm still on her page, but it says, Charles told me Jasmine's long fingernails scratched his hand, leaving a red mark and indentations from her nails on the top of his hands. And see the photograph. Oh, yeah. That's, It says, weird how Tim Burchett was standing right there and didn't intervene. He is a witness to the assault. Yeah, but I mean, what's he gonna do? He's not gonna go over there and smack the lady around, even though she would deserve it. Just saying, because she's obviously unhinged. I mean, you have to do what you gotta do. Yeah, if Jasmine Crockett can't control herself to not assault somebody for asking a simple question, she has no business being in Congress. Oh boy, let's see. Okay, it says, I'm glad Alina Habba issued Jasmine a warning. This was 52 minutes ago. She won't be putting up with the threats. And I'm sure she's really not going to appreciate hearing Jasmine is getting physically violent against conservatives. Alina Habba, now a member of the DOJ, has a warning for Jasmine Crockett. I think she's used to the last administration where they were all bark and no bite. That's not this one. We will not tolerate that. If you threaten anybody, we're going to come at you. Do not threaten people. It's enough of this. And we're going to come down hard on it. Crockett can keep on threatening us, but I would advise her against that. Let's see what she said in this interview.
Looking at Crockett pretty closely, she seems to say whatever she wants about Elon Musk, about Tesla, about potential danger. Does she understand what she's getting herself into?
I don't think so. I think she's used to the last administration where they were all bark and no bite. That's not this one. Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, which I'm now proud to be a part of, I can tell you very clearly that we will not tolerate that. If you threaten anybody, especially somebody who's a patriot who's taking care of this country and getting rid of fraud and waste, we're going to come at you. Do not threaten people. And if you are a government official, you better recheck your ethics rules. And that's what Pam was speaking about. It's enough of this. It's enough of this. And we're going to come down hard on it. And she's made that very clear.
Yeah, I mean, you have two task forces. You have one, the Tesla terrorism task force, and then you have this fraud task force. You're hearing these kids that are 9 months old, Alina, they're getting checks for $100,000. Something tells me their parents might have orchestrated that.
Which that'll work into
something like that, or
video.
the government when you're 320 years old and you're still getting Social Security. Look, there has been so much corruption. I can tell you that is part of why this administration is going to be so, frankly, it's why they're pissing off the left, because that corruption was not going to us. I'll tell you that much. We weren't taking 300-year-old and 6-month-old babies' Social Security checks. Somebody was getting that money, and we're going to follow the money. The best thing about financial fraud is that we can recover it, we can track it, and we will find it. Whether you did it through layers of an NGO, whether you did it through private sector, we'll still track it. The money went somewhere. So they're making a massive mistake, and Crockett can keep on threatening us, but I would advise her against that.
Yeah. So speaking of that, it shows, I think, Elon Musk in the, the cabinet meeting talking about the fraud, waste, and abuse, which it is the best thing for America. Why would you want your tax dollars going to stuff and just being wasted? You can't recover the money. You're serious? Oh my gosh.
Joining us now is Josh Hammer, Senior Editor at Large at Newsweek. Josh, thank you for joining us. I want to talk to you about Doge. We are just seeing the ugliest attacks against Elon Musk, and It's amazing to see what people are actually protesting against. Today, Elon gave another example of what Doge has been finding, and that includes $330 million in SBA loans to children under 11, including a 9-month-old baby who received a $100,000 loan.
A clear case of fraud was with the Small Business Administration, where they were handing out loans, $330 million worth of loans to people under the age of 11. I think the youngest, Kelly, was a 9-month-old who got a $100,000 loan. That's a very precocious baby we're talking about here.
How dare Doge expose this? I suppose this is what the left want to see more of.
Yeah, I mean, just giving away money, as if it's just like a piece of paper or a pencil or some sort of widget to give away. I mean, what could possibly go wrong here? I mean, on the one hand, it's really just darkly hilarious, isn't it? I mean, that this is the kind of thing that's been going on for God knows how long. I mean, who knows when these programs even started? Was it Joe Biden? Was it Barack Obama?
But I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you not want to preserve our tax dollars? We pay so much, and some of us don't make like millions and millions of dollars, and I don't even care about somebody's wealth that way. I'm saying I don't care about all this stuff. They grow up and say, he's a billionaire, he doesn't need this and doesn't need that. He's not doing anything other than trying to save what little bit. I mean, they take so much out of our paychecks. I'm just saying, I did our taxes today, and I mean, we overpaid this time, but only because we have to do estimated taxes because of some of the stuff that I was doing, like I'm a 1099 employee, so whatever. But it's just crazy how much we spend in tax dollars every year. I mean, everybody's got to file their tax returns, and you're not upset that he's trying to claw some of that back. I don't even care necessarily if they send out like a stimulus check. I mean, it's probably just going to go back into, either savings or we'll pay something down, whatever. But either way, it doesn't even matter to me. Just as long as we're not sending money to other countries to do transgender stuff or these weird experiments and harming and destabilizing, I think, other governments. That's what I believe some of that money was sent there for. If you can destabilize a society and break down, like, say, the family structure, I think you can make them so weak, and then they're dependent on, say, the United States, like as their big brother, and they're gonna help them out, do all this stuff. I mean, I think that's destabilizing to that society. That's kind of my thinking on it when I see all this stuff that Doge has uncovered, sending money for anything other than, like, say, food and clothing or medicine, whatever. I mean, I'm just saying the physical needs, but not all this extra crazy stuff. But I don't understand why people are so upset over this. But I know it's because we have representatives in Congress that are saying that these things are not as bad as he's making it out to be, or whatever. Or that you just have people that are saying things that are just flat out wrong. I mean, I don't know what else to say on that one, but I just can't see why people are so, like, pissed that he's doing it. He's saving the American tax dollars for America. We have problems here that we need to solve first. Why would we be sending money to other countries? And then I heard yesterday on a different podcast, Sean Ryan had some people on. They said that they were funding the Taliban still. I mean, why are we funding the Taliban? There's no reason to fund them. The people that took over, like, Afghanistan and all that stuff. I was like, what? Anyway, I just don't understand why people are so mad at Elon Musk when he's just trying to make sure that the government's paying the right people to do a job. He sent out sending them email to find out what they've been doing. He's clawing back some of this money that's going to all these different weird whatevers, organizations, NGOs, and stuff like that, that's funding weird stuff in other places. Anyway, but I know some of the reason that the Congress people are upset is because it's probably cutting into some of the money laundering that they've been doing. I bet you that's what a lot of that is. Anyway, I'll be quiet. I just still don't understand. I mean, yeah, I understand people being fired, but if you're not doing your job, you don't deserve that job. You're supposed to go in and earn a paycheck. You don't just get one just because you are on the payroll. You have to go and do some actual physical work. And I don't know. Some of this stuff is just not making sense to me. And then to try to tear down his company, and I think that's all coordinated. The Doge Quest and all that stuff, yeah. Doxing Tesla owners, vandalizing, and something else somebody said that most of the people that own the Teslas are actually, like, Democrat voters. They really push for the climate change stuff. I'm not saying that you can't. I just want to have a choice. I'll say this. If you want an electric vehicle, go get it. Do it. I don't care. We have gas vehicles. Whatever. I mean, my thing is plant trees. They're supposed to scrub some of the stuff out of the environment. I don't know what else to say on that one. I'm not going to get into the climate stuff because that's a whole ball of wax. Yes, I want clean water, clean air, that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to be out there tree hugging and putting myself on the road, to block everybody else and protest their ability to go back and forth to work or home or wherever they're going. I'm just these people don't make sense to me. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep playing this because it's so much all at once, and some of it I don't understand.
Was it sometime even further in the past there? On the other hand, it really does underscore just how utterly inane and frankly perverse the dramatic, massive left-wing opposition to Elon Musk is. I mean, the people that are opposing the Trump administration more generally, Gabriella, whether it's things like this, whether it's the deportation of pro-Hamas miscreants like Mahmoud Khalil. I mean, what exactly are they standing for? I mean, are you guys actually making an affirmative positive stand to give away so-called loans to the tune of $330 million to people that are as young as 9 months? Are you actually taking an affirmative stand to actually keep Hamas supporters in the United States? I mean, what does it say about the modern left that they are forced to take these stances all in the purported name of just opposing whatever it is the Trump administration has to do? Because that's basically all they stand for at this point. They basically stand for whatever Trump does, and by extension, whatever Elon Musk does. Necessarily, by dint of that very fact, we will oppose it there. But that's left them defending some very, very, very indefensible things, I'm afraid.
Absolutely. I would like to see them defend something worthwhile. Let's talk about USIP. The Trump administration is gutting the institution of peace. So last week, bureaucrats held a tense standoff with a Doge team that required police intervention. A White House spokesperson says that rogue bureaucrats will not be allowed to hold agencies hostage, and a judge agreed with this. District Judge Beryl Howell denied a request from the agency to grant a temporary restraining order that claimed that Doge committed literal trespass and taking over by force. Now questions are being raised over what USIP could be trying to hide. USIP has around 300 employees, has a budget of $55 million a year. We know that it was established by Congress in 1984, and it claims that its mission is to prevent violent conflicts and broker peace deals abroad. This is, of course, despite the United States having been involved in numerous military interventions, prolonged wars, and the rising global instability in decades since then. It's hard to actually see what USIP has been able to achieve.
Well, it's funny that they only have a budget of $55 million or whatever the exact number is, because if you actually drive by the U.S. Institute for Peace, and I've driven by it any number of times, it's located right on Constitution Avenue. It's literally right off the National Mall. So if you've been a tourist in Washington, D.C., you're driving down Constitution Avenue, you're driving down Main Justice and the Federal Reserve, and then you see this mysterious building, U.S. Institute of Peace. What in the world is this there? And it turns out that this, like so many other alphabet soup agencies or alphabet soup NGOs that are funded by the taxpayer in Washington, D.C., it's just a bunch of deep state career leftist bureaucrats. That's basically all that's going on here, it turns out, at the U.S. Institute of Peace there. By the way, the judge who actually ruled against the USIP employees there and ruled in favor of Elon Musk and Doge, Beryl Howell, total left-wing judge, absolute far-left judge there. I suppose a broken clock, after all, is still correct twice a day there, but it says just how, it speaks volumes about how just meritless, frankly, the USIP's lawsuit was against Elon Musk and Doge here for trying to gut out a lot of the facts in this taxpayer-subsidized adjunct of the federal government. It's not really an agency. It's not really independent. It's kind of just an appurtenance, you might say, of the federal government. But the federal government, it turns out, has a lot of appurtenances, to use the same word there. That's kind of what Donald Trump was elected to do, by the way. He was elected to drain the swamp. I mean, what did the people out there think that drain the swamp meant? I mean, did y'all think that it was just a bunch of mean tweets? I mean, it's time to actually drain the swamp in action. That's literally the whole point of the Department of Government Efficiency. It's the whole point of what Elon Musk is doing there. Apparently, he's staying awake till 1 a.m. every night. He's sleeping in his office there, the world's wealthiest man. Is committed to this. He is committed to gutting out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. The American people are on his side. American people, roughly 65 to 70% approval ratings, say that they like what Doge and Elon Musk are doing there. It is slush funds. It is taxpayer-subsidized career leftist bureaucrat slush funds like the USIP that are on the wrong side of the American voter. And yet again, Gabriella, we see that the left is forced to defend a fairly indefensible position, a position, mind you, that, as I just said, even a very left-wing judge like Beryl Howell actually ruled against.
I want to talk to you about accused pro-Hamas supporter Mahmoud Khalil, who you mentioned earlier. We're learning more.
So there's Mahmoud Khalil. I think The View had a video about him, basically defending him and saying that he had all the rights of a citizen and all this other stuff. You do, as long as you're following the law. Good grief. It just doesn't make sense. Just because, oh my gosh, just because Trump opposes something, they have to go to the far extreme opposite view of it. I mean, Trump already said, we're getting the criminals out of here. If you do something wrong, Marco Rubio, you do something wrong, you gotta go. This guy was in charge of the Columbia university protests and all that stuff. So he's out.
About him, this detained Columbia University protester. The New York Post is reporting today that he hid his ties to UNRWA on his visa application. As we know, UNRWA was rightfully stripped of tens of millions of dollars in federal funding after it was revealed that several staff members took part in the October 7 terror attack on Israel.
Yeah, that's something I did hear months ago, or probably even years ago, whenever I guess it's 2023. But they were talking about this UNRWA was actually raping women and doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So over the weekend, lawyers for the DOJ lodged new accusations against the anti-Israel campus protest leader in court papers, arguing that they should be grounds for deportation. What's your reaction to this?
Well, if you are relying on a U.S. visa application, period, full stop, end of story, that is sufficient grounds to deport you. Frankly, you actually don't even need that. I mean, that is actually above and beyond what is required under our law in order to deport someone. You know, the Mahmoud Khalil story, I sometimes find myself just kind of pinch myself to make sure that we're actually really debating this. This guy is a genuine apologist for Hamas. This is a guy who has praised. He has praised armed resistance, aka violent jihad, against the Jewish people, against the Jewish state of Israel there. This is someone who was one of the student leaders of the vandalism, the anarchy at Hamilton Hall at Columbia University last year. He was one of the student negotiators there. This is someone who has been closely involved with CUAD, Columbia University Apartheid Divest, a student organization that literally puts on their social media feed, "We seek to eradicate Western civilization." Well, okay, thanks for telling us there. If you're here in a visa, bye-bye.
Yeah,
Look, there was an unbroken string of U.S. immigration law going back since the origins of the Republic, going back 250 years, that it is inherent in the principle of national sovereignty that any alien, whether legal or illegal, can be removed at any time for any reason. There is no such thing as quote-unquote due process when it comes to aliens. This is a key point, actually. It was Justice Robert Jackson, one of the great 20th century Supreme Court justices, in a 1953 case called Shaughnessy, who famously said that due process does not entail any alien around the world with the right to immigrate here against our will. And then once you are here, you don't have a due process right to be safeguarded from removal against the national will. It's a very fancy way of saying that once you're here, if we, the people who are the sovereign here in the United States, if we don't want you here, you're out. That's basically how it works. So the fact that he's lying on his visa paperwork.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's like you're a guest here. Just because you fill the paperwork out, we don't have to keep you here. If you do something wrong, you got to go. Let's see if we can find the View where it talks about the Mahmoud dude. Hold on. I know that was bad. Mahmoud dude, but that's basically the View. Mahmoud. Let's see. Mahmoud Khalil, something like that. How do you spell it? Let's see if we can find the clip. It says, leave it to the View to defend Mahmoud, or however you say his name, Khalil. This guy is in a group that has called for total eradication of Western civilization and parroted Hamas talking points. He has zero right to be in America. Let's see what these morons have to say about this.
Mass deportation. We're talking about this administration's mass deportation plan. And is this plan, do you think, what people voted for?
I don't think so.
Yes.
And I love how you started this, Whoopi, because you started it with the law, which is what Tom Holman was saying. You know, Americans, once you are here, especially if you have a green card, you are a permanent legal resident of the United States, which means that you have the constitutional protections that every American citizen has. And that includes free speech, and it certainly includes due process from being disappeared. And so I want to just point out that on March 8th, legal permanent resident who has a green card, his name's Mahmoud Khalil, was taken from Columbia University housing. His pregnant wife is due next month. Plainclothes men in New York grabbed him, put him into an unmarked car, then moved him to Jersey, which is something that is done in authoritarian governments, then moved him to Louisiana, which is one of the worst detention centers that we know of in this country. He has said there's a letter that everyone I hope reads. He calls himself a political prisoner. I believe that he is. He did that, wrote that March 18th, 25. And what is so shocking to me is that this could happen to someone who is a permanent legal resident with a green card with an American.
Hold on. That got me thinking. Sorry. I probably should have had it prepared, but I'm just kind of doing some of this on the fly. I don't really. Oh, man. Hold on. Mahmoud Khalil. Let's see. What's the activist? Let's see if we can find the group. ICE arrest Palestinian activists. Detention. Blah, blah, blah. Just he's being targeted. What we know about the arrest. Oh, no, this is ACLU. But what's the website? I wish I knew which website it was. Yeah, where's it at? Is it UNRWA? Is it that? Let's see. Well, let's look at this UNRWA thing. Is that it? Google. UNRWA. How is it? Which stands for United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in Near East. Okay, let's see. Let's look at their website and see what this says. UNRWA needs to review their what? Yeah, I just want to see what this says. United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine. We provide assistance and protection for registered Palestinian refugees. I wonder where that is that they're talking about. Talks about getting rid of the West. Says UNRWA Human Development and Humanitarian Services encompass primary and vocational education, primary health care, relief and social services, infrastructure and camp improvement, microfinance and emergency response, including in situations of armed conflict. That's the same thing. Visit the online platform for the digitized UNRWA archive as we continue to upload digitized photos and videos. Let's see if he actually posts the actual website. That's all they are. Wish they got cuts. Oops. Ooh, this face could stop bird shitting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know right now where that website is that he's talking about. But either way, the idiots on The View are saying that. Where is it at? I don't want to watch the whole thing again. I can't stand their voices. Anyway.
There is additional grounds under the relevant statute, the Immigration and Nationality Act, to deport him. Frankly, as a matter of constitutional law, you don't even need him there. But again, as we were saying earlier, what does it say about the American left and the corporate media here, the chattering class, the commentary, that they are forced to defend this utter miscreant there? This is not just an 80-20 issue, Gabriella. This is probably closer to a 90-10 or a 95-5 issue. The American people want miscreants like this jihadist thug gone, and God willing, gone he shall be.
Well, we're sadly seeing more anti-Israel protests here in Australia. In Melbourne over the weekend, there were more anti-Israel demonstrations held, and they were as vile as ever. Protesters were caught on camera chanting, "All Zionists are terrorists," as they marched through the city. Just absolutely horrific scenes. Josh, what's your response?
Well, unfortunately, this has been pretty common since October 7th, 2023, and it's probably not going to end any time tomorrow. Look, one of the things, Gabriella, that I call for, I actually have a brand new book on this. You and I discussed this last time, called Israel and Civilization: The Fate of the Jewish Nation and the Destiny of the West. And one of the things that I urge all of Israel's supporters and friends all throughout the world, Jews, Christians, frankly, even pro-Israel Muslims, whatever you are there, you have to make the case for Israel in moralistic argumentation. For far too much of my lifetime, Gabriella, I've seen the nominal pro-Israel side speak in very kind of mundane, really kind of watered down terms. They just say, we just want to exist, or we just want peace, or we just want two states. And then a lot of very young, impressionable people there, frankly, a lot of kind of less religious people who don't otherwise have meaning in their lives and are looking for something to fill that vacuum of meaning there. They're naturally attracted to the quote unquote pro-Palestinian side because they actually present a moral argumentation. Now, it's very immoral, but they at least speak in moral terminology when they speak of things like occupation or things like Nakba, which is their way of referring to Israel's righteous war for independence in 1948 there. They're making morally charged terms. And my call in the book and just in my general commentary for a long time now has been, for the pro-Israel side, you guys have to make morally charged argumentation as well. Talk about going back thousands and thousands of years, how the Jews are actually indigenous to this particular land there. The Jews were in the land of Israel for literally thousands of years before there was a single, before Islam was created as a religion there. More so than that there, just make the straightforward case that whether it's Australia, whether it's the United States, or whether it's any other Western or Western style country there, the West is stronger when there is an emboldened and empowered Israel there that is able, in an unfettered fashion, to take care of its own neighborhood and to secure and patrol it in a way that redounds to Western civilization's interests. There is no compelling national interest whatsoever for a country like the United States or Australia to support a quote-unquote two-state solution, which means carving up a new Muslim terrorist state in the heart of the Middle East. They'll become a new Iranian launching pad for terrorist attacks. There's no national interest in that whatsoever there. So whether it's explaining that in concrete terms, whether it's making an actual moral argument about the inherent beauty, actually, of Zionism, a term that has been so utterly ridiculed in recent years for garbage reasons. It's nothing less than the Jewish people's right to self-determination in their own ancestral homeland. It's a very straightforward, I would argue, beautiful concept. So make these arguments, though. Don't just let these other guys, these thugs, just take over the streets and then get away with the narrative. It's time for the pro-Israel side to step up and start waging their own loud arguments that are not obnoxious, but they have benefit of being grounded in truth.
Israel's military is expanding its ground operation across the Gaza Strip, and the Defense Ministry says that it has killed Hamas's new prime minister in a precise strike. Now, this, of course, comes as talks to stop the fighting and release the hostages completely stalled. At least, Josh, we are seeing Hamas, it's continued to be weakened.
Yeah, the next time Hamas advertised for its prime minister job, they probably should put in the job description, unclear of how long the job duration is, right? I mean, they've cycled through a bunch of these guys ever since October 7th there. Hamas only has itself to blame, Gabriella, yet again, for the fact that its leaders are being killed. Hamas only has itself to blame, period, full stop, end of story, for the entire state of Gaza since October 7th. They were the ones who slaughtered 1,200 Israelis on that day. They were the ones who took hundreds of civilians hostage. Every single innocent person who has died, every single person.
Well, in that October 7th thing, I don't ever jump on bandwagon. I'm just going to tell you that now. But that October 7th thing, they said that the videos of that, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see any of that, because that's just horrible. I wouldn't want it to happen to anybody's women, children, young men, old men, people, just anybody. I wouldn't want to see that horrible stuff. But I've heard other people talk about it, and they said it's the most horrific thing they've ever seen. I mean, I'm sure that it is. You're talking about mass rapes, and they said that there was people that they raped them so hard or whatever that they broke their pelvises and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, that's horrific. So I just, like I said, I don't jump on bandwagons. I don't get into all that stuff, but this whole thing is just horrible with the wars. Just all these conflicts all over the place. But you notice it wasn't Trump that got him into it. It was Biden. all these things been going on under Biden. It all started under Biden. So anyway, and of course, he's trying to make a comeback. Ugh. Joe Biden. Let's see. Let's see if anybody's talking about it. Nope. That's something else. All the bad things. Oh, Joe Biden signing executive orders. Yeah, it's real. The auto pin. Another Tesla van. Oh, so this is how I found my car today. Unbelievable. And I'm just an innocent bystander. Democrats put us to hell when Joe Biden was in office, and conservatives never acted like this. This is sick. Liberals are unhinged. I don't see. Oh, I see the key. That is bad. They have nothing to do with it. And probably most of the people that own them are Democrats. Just because they wanted to save the environment, which I'm okay with some of that, but not go nuts about it. Yeah, let's see. There's Joe Biden routinely bragged about defying the Supreme Court. Supreme Court blocked me, but they didn't stop me. Yet the fake news is only outraged when President Trump rightfully speaks out against activist judges. Oh boy. Anyway, they're talking about, I guess he's trying to make a comeback. At least it's what I saw on something. It was like, this is whatever. Trump pardons Hunter Biden's former business partner. Yeah. That was 1 hour ago. This isn't mercy, it's strategy. They want testimony against Hunter, against Joe. The house of cards is trembling. It's about to get very real. Yeah, I don't know. This is crazy. Anyway, I'm done for today. I'm kind of tired of listening to these people talk. Not the people on Sky News Australia, but these other, any of the Democrats. I can't deal with their mouths. But yes, I'll try to get on here and make some more videos, pull all this stuff up because I'm just showing all the craziness. But I gotta go deal with my dog. I'm sure she needs to go outside. And I will talk to y'all later. Like, share, and subscribe. Talk to y'all next time. Bye.